What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today I want to do another game collection video. My last game collection video, I'll probably link at the top of this video here. We went over my entire PS5 collection, so I felt like it would make sense to kind of go down the line. I have a lot of consoles. As you see, I got a Switch right there, PS4. You guys know I got an Xbox. Look, I have all the shit. So today, speaking of Xbox, I want to do an Xbox collection. Xbox One, Xbox Series X, not Xbox 360. I actually have a bunch of Xbox 360 games as well, but I'm not going to do that here in this video. Maybe in a future video, but really I just want to show you really next, I guess current gen at this point, current gen collection. Maybe I'll even do a Nintendo Switch collection, which isn't going to be that long because I don't really play much Nintendo Switch. So my collection is very, very minimal. I'd like to get more. Like, always get jealous when you see people doing collection videos and they have like shelves and shelves full of red cases, and I'm like, damn, I wish that was me. But then I look at their library and I'm like, yeah, no. So anyway, with that being said, I want to get into my Xbox One, Xbox Series X game collection. As you guys know, Xbox has no fucking games. However, I do have a little bit of a collection. I have a bunch of games in my digital library that I could probably make 2 or 3 videos on, but we're just going to go with physical releases only. So with that being said, if you like content like this, you wouldn't mind liking this video and subbing to the channel, we would really appreciate it. With that being said, let's go over my entire Xbox One, Xbox Series X game collection. So my last video did really, really well with my PS5 collection. I figured this would be a good video to do. People love collection videos. I love collection videos. So if you're here, thank you, and let me know about your collection down below as well. So anyway, with that being said, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video. So it's going to be a little awkward because I have a bunch of shit going on my desk. So this might be a little awkward how I'm going to stack all this stuff up. So bear with me here. But let's start with the first game on... Alright, let's start off with the first game in the Xbox collection, and that is Watch Dogs Legion. So I bought this game actually day one for Xbox Series X. This was like maybe a couple weeks after I got my X, because I think this came out either November or December of 2021, I believe. And I believe that's when the consoles came out. So I got this shortly after. It was like my first, like, I guess you could say, like, next gen game. So picked this up, played it for like a week, had a good time with it. I just got bored. With it. It sucks though, because like I'm on, like, when I'm on TikTok and I'm scrolling through people's feed, I'm seeing people do some cool like John Wick style gameplay in this game. So I would like to eventually pick it back up. I know you can play as the main character from the first game in this one as well. I don't remember what his name is right this second, which is bugging the shit out of me. It's not Isaac, is it? No, I'm probably put up on the screen. Anyway, you get to play as him a little bit and some DLC, and there's an Assassin's Creed DLC as well. So, look, it's an interesting game, interesting concept where you get to play with a bunch of characters. The concept is awesome, but I don't know. It's at the end of the day, it's an Ubisoft title, and as much as I love Ubisoft games, I've had an attraction to them since I was a child. This is, I don't know, for me. And again, I haven't played this in a while, so if it's gotten better, let me know. For me, I just wasn't into it, man. After like a week, I was like, next. Next on the list, or stack here, is The Witcher 3. Now, I own this game on, I think I own it digitally on PS5. I thought about getting the Switch version, but I just can't stand at 30 FPS. So, but yeah, so here's the Xbox Series X version. I don't think I really need to say much. This is a great RPG game. I will probably never beat it. It's one of those games that's going to be in my library probably for the rest of my life. And and it's not because the game is bad. This game is fantastic through and through. It's got a lot of love in this. CD Projekt Red made a very, very rich world in The Witcher 3. I don't know, like every time I go to play it, I'll put like a big amount of time. I'm talking like several hours. And then I'll just stop because something else comes out. And so then I won't pick it up for a while. But yeah, great game. Don't really have much to say about it. I know they're going to come out with some more Witcher games. I think a Witcher 1 remake is coming. So I would like to get this finished, at least the main story before then, but we'll have to see. But great game. I don't really have to say much more about that. I can't believe, real quick, sidebar, I graduated in 2015. This game came out around that time, and this shit still holds up. And now it has a current gen update, so the game looks even better. If you could even make it look better, right? It looks damn good. Is it like Last of Us Part 2 good? No. But the environments, dude, this game still has the best sunrise, like sunset in a game. This right here, unmatched, man. So, great game. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about it. Great game. That's really all I got to say. That's all you can say when it comes to The Witcher 3. Next on the list is Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. I got this game a long time ago. So I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. Looking forward to Final Fantasy 16. I've talked about that in the podcast and a couple videos on this channel. I love Final Fantasy. And this actually, if you look at it right here, I might zoom in on that. It says includes the Final Fantasy 15 demo. So it goes to show your age a little bit. But I really like the concept of this. Like where you got to play as like several different students, I guess, level them up. I think it even had like a, almost like a permadeath system where if one died, you couldn't use it anymore or use that person anymore. I thought that was so cool. Now I know this game was like remade for console, but yeah, dude, it's just a very enjoyable game from what I remember. I like the class systems. I love the combat. I thought the combat was super satisfying when it worked. And, you can't go wrong with the music in the world of Final Fantasy. Even though it's kind of like a dull-looking world, it still, like, has that magic, I guess you could say. Good game. I'd love to jump back into this, but, with life, I'm doing good to stay steady on Star Wars Jedi right now. Good. Looks like somebody colored in the Xbox logo. Sure as hell wasn't me. Look, y'all, can you guys see that? The Xbox logo? I did not fucking do that, dude. See, I gotta get rid of the case now. I'd never noticed that. I think I might have got that used from someone, and I guess I just never noticed it, or I'm colorblind or something. Next on the list is Borderlands 3. Now, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, she bought me this game like day one. I was really looking forward to this game, and this game is a lot of fun. I enjoyed this game. Matter of fact, I would love to pick it back up. I love the loot system. The gameplay is super fun. I just think this game gets a lot of bad rap because people try to compare it to Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1 even, the Handsome Jack collection. And you just can't do that. It's a different part of the story, a different time period with different characters. Returning character here and there. But all in all, brand new story, brand new characters. I think for what it does it right. I think it's I don't think the dialogue is good. I think the villains are definitely not as good. But this is a damn good game, all in all. So definitely pick this one up if you haven't. But I like that I have this in my collection. I believe that PlayStation Plus Premium, if you have that, this game is included. So there's millions of ways to play this game. I'm just glad I got a physical copy of it. Dude, I love physical copies. I don't buy them as much as I used to because I think it's just gotten easier, and I fell into that whole, digital's easier kind of thing. But you got to have a physical copy, and I'm glad I have a physical copy of Borderlands 3. Moving on. Now, these are a set of games that are really, really special to me, and I'm kind of going, this is really dusty. I have not played this shit in a while, especially since I have... You'll see in the next couple games, I have something that makes this kind of, what's the word? It starts with an O. Obsolete? Yeah, that's it. And that is The Walking Dead Season 2 by Telltale Games. I love The Walking Dead. Now, I think I've said that before. I know it's not popular. Actually, it's popular to hate The Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead. And more so, I love the Walking Dead Telltale games. These games are, and especially with the first one, which we will get to in a minute, but these games are so gosh dang good when it comes to story, man. These are such good story games. I care about all the characters they introduce, whether they're older or newer. You play as Clementine, who you protected in the first game, because this game kind of came out around the time where there's a couple games like that, like The Last of Us, where you have an older male taking care of a young girl. It has that same vibes, but in this game you play as the girl, and great game, great story, super dark. Like the show is dark, the comics are dark, and I feel like this kind of, I wouldn't say surpasses it, but it's definitely more up to par with the comics. I feel like the comics are darker than the show. This is more in line with the comics, and dude, emotion filled. If you don't cry in these games, you're a fucking robot, and that's plain and simple. So I'm gonna kind of move to these a little quicker because here we are, and this is Dusty. The Walking Dead Season 1, arguably one of the best Telltale games ever made, and one of the best Walking Dead stories ever made. This game is absolutely magnificent from start to finish. I've beaten this game twice. I'm sure I'll play through it again at some point. Again, it's Telltale, so it's not like it's a whole lot of change. I mean, there's a lot of changes, don't get me wrong. But the story between Lee and Clementine is so gosh dang genuine. I mean, really, like in some ways, I compare it to Joel and Ellie. In some ways, I like it more than Joel and Ellie. And I know that's kind of like a hot take. I totally get that, but set in a world that I love, and I can't say much else about these games. These games are absolutely fantastic, and Season 1 is the shining star in the entire series for sure. And that's not to say anything about the other seasons. Seasons 1 and 2 are phenomenal. 3 gets a little spotty there because you move on to a new main character, and then in 4 you go back to Clementine, and that's a good story there. Good comic moments that if you guys have read the comics and watch the show, there's characters that show up here and there. But it's still a very secluded story, as it should be. I think I prefer Walking Dead stories better than anyway, or any stories in general. Like, you know, that's one thing I liked about The Mandalorian before it really became very fan fictiony. Not that it's bad, but you know, like I could do without the whole Luke and Ahsoka and things like that. I know it's super cool. Like as a fan, I'm like, as a Star Wars fan, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. But I like more secluded stories. Get away from that main line of storytelling and give me a more personal story with new characters. Anyway, so this is a culmination of everything we just talked about. This is the Walking Dead collection, the Telltale Definitive Series. Includes all 4 seasons, DLC, the Michonne miniseries, seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4. This was a big collection. Matter of fact, the wife got this for me before she was my wife. She got this for me as well. She knew I loved The Walking Dead and picked this up for me on my birthday. And I cherish it. This is this type of game will never leave my possession. I love this collection because it has all 4 of these amazing stories and the DLCs and the Michonne miniseries, which is also really good. Has all that on one disc. Really great game in the collection. All right, moving on to the best series of all time. Call of Duty, baby. Call of Duty. Who gives a fuck about Call of Duty? I sound like Ghostface in Scream 6. Who gives a fuck about movies? Please tell me you guys have watched Scream 6, okay? That way I don't look like a jackass. Yeah, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. This came out in 2019, I believe. I was really excited for this game. I'm not even gonna front. Like, I'm not into Call of Duty at all. I've gotten better at it over the years, you know, when I do play it, like multiplayer. But, you know, this series is I'm honestly surprised. It's still going strong. They're making games still every year, and they have not slowed down. And it's kind of, in a way, it's sad, but kind of amazing at the same time that a series has gone on this long. I believe this is the new peak of the Call of Duty franchise, and then I think from here it just goes back down and down and down. Modern Warfare 2 was okay. I quit that shit after 3 days. And I bought the game. That's the thing. Like, I'm a sucker. I bought the game. I bought it because I have to have new releases, even if they kind of interest me. I bought the game, played it for 3 days, and I was like, all right, that's it. I could give 2 shits about Warzone. I think multiplayer is very shallow. And to be honest with you, I'm not a very collaborative player anyway. Like, I've been invited to, like, play Apex and Fortnite, shit like that. I'm like, bro, I just don't play these games like that. You know what I mean? These are dudes that play this game. They'll play for several hours. Bro, I don't do that. I like playing games like Star Wars Jedi Survivor for 5 or 6 hours. And I don't. But I could see myself doing that. I have pulled, like, several game sessions where I played 3 to 4 hours playing a game like that. The Last of Us, Uncharted, shit like that. I'm not playing Call of Duty or any really multiplayer shooter for a long period of time. And yes, I do know it has a story mode. I did play the campaign. I thought it was fine. It was good. I did like the night missions and all that. But all in all, this is the peak of Call of Duty. I think this is the last real big Call of Duty that I personally have interest in. I know that they might go back to Black Ops with the next game. That probably interests me. And again, I'm not saying I won't check it out. But just like every Call of Duty, I'm sure I'll drop it in 3 days. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Because to me, Call of Duty is just, it's Call of Duty. There's really not much change to the franchise, to the gaming mechanics. Maybe the guns have a different feel every once in a while, but it's essentially the same game over and over again, and people buy it up. And that's the thing. People like me, I can't complain because I do the same shit. So moving on to one of my favorite franchises ever. Now, as of late, it's not as much as my favorite, but this is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Arguably, people will say this is the last Assassin's Creed game in the series. And what I mean by that is, obviously, we had Assassin's Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But this was the last game that had that same Assassin's Creed formula that they established pretty much ever since Assassin's Creed 2, arguably Assassin's Creed 1. But the same kind of gameplay, more parry-based. It had more of the stealth implemented in there. Definitely makes you, I don't want to sound like IG here, it makes you feel more of like an assassin more so than the newer games have. And this was kind of the start. This is like kind of like the ending of that kind of gameplay and that type of game. So got a copy of this, and matter of fact, I think inside this copy is Assassin's Creed Unity. And I say the same thing with Unity as I say about Syndicate. I think they're both quality made games. I think they're definitely assassin oriented games. And it makes you appreciate where the series has come from. And it really sucks that it kind of stepped away from this type of gameplay loop. And I know it needed a change. Definitely, it needed a new identity. But now it has no identity. So it's kind of one of those things like, yes, while I kind of appreciate the change, because I love Assassin's Creed Origins. Like I love that game. But it does make you wish they would go back to this. And that's why I'm kind of looking forward to Assassin's Creed Mirage, if we get it. Because we've seen virtually no gameplay for it. So I don't even know if we're going to get it at this point. I'm sure we will. But, just not, I don't know when we're going to get it. But I do love the gameplay loop of Assassin's Creed Syndicate and the ones that came before. Moving on to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I mentioned this in Syndicate. This is definitely a tonal shift for the game when it comes to story. There's darker moments, but nothing really crazy. This is definitely an RPG all the way through. Not a bad game though. Like, there's people that say this game is just like utter mockery to the Assassin's Creed franchise, which I do somewhat agree with. Not really a mockery, but I think what they should do, and someone made a good point in a podcast I was watching that said, if Ubisoft wanted to make games like this that was still set in the Assassin's Creed universe, but didn't really have much to do with assassins, they should have just call this game like Odyssey and then put as like a subtitle an Assassin's Creed story. I think that would have been worked out really good, and I don't think many people would have got as mad. But because it's called an Assassin's Creed game and you don't play as an assassin, I think a lot of people give this a bad rep, man. And is it deserved? I mean, kind of. But all in all, this isn't a bad game. I do think the voice acting kind of sucks, especially if you pick the male character. What's his name? Alexios. Bad voice acting. Cassandra is obviously the pick. I mean, one, she's kind of cute, but also two, voice acting is better. Still not great, but it is better. Game is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The DLCs are lengthy. A lot of busy work, though. But all in all, man, it is a really, really good game, and I would love to get back into it. I really would. As an RPG set during this time period, like Greek and Romans, and Sparta, and all that stuff. It's just, I love this time period. But it's just execution, man. Again, it shouldn't be called Assassin's Creed. It should be an Odyssey and Assassin's Creed story, and I don't think anybody would have turned a blind eye at the game. I think it gets hate because it's called Assassin's Creed. And there's no fucking assassins. I mean, there is, but not like the assassin, what do you call it? The order, I guess. I'm sorry. You know, I notice when I do videos like this where I just will not shut up, I really start stumbling my words and saying some fumbling my words. I'm sorry. See what I'm saying? After I've been talking like this, I start to kind of like, I feel like, okay, dude, you're talking way too much. I'm just trying to like give you my feelings over the game while I'm showing you my collection. I hope that's okay. By the way, like this video, subscribe if you're still here. Anyway, with that being said, now let's get into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, this is when the game series really took a plunge. When it came to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, at this point, Assassin's Creed has no identity. You don't even play as an assassin. And when the choice of becoming assassin is presented to Eivor, the main character in this game, Eivor turns it down and says, I don't want to join your guild because your tenets are not what I believe in. However, you literally learn from the assassins, from what's his name, Hytham, and it's the one you're gonna play as in Assassin's Creed Mirage. I don't remember. I can't remember his name. God, that kills me. Basim. That's it. When you're learning from Basim, you're learning things about the Creed, like hiding in the shadows, attacking from high up, the leap of faith, and all that stuff. But then Eivor says, I don't believe in your tenets. Like, I find your tenets admirable, but I don't believe in that. You're just a straight up Viking in this, and again, we go back to Assassin's Creed Origins. It should have been called Valhalla, an Assassin's Creed story, and I don't think anybody had an issue with it because you don't play as an assassin in this, and that's kind of an issue when you're playing an Assassin's Creed game and you're not playing as an assassin. So that's really all I gotta say about that. Decent game. I've put like 115 hours into it because I was into it. Like, the gameplay loop was fun for me at a certain point. I mean, you don't put 100 some hours to a game and just be like, you know. But the story's way too long. Way, way too long. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey, that was one thing I forgot to mention about that. That story is long too. But Valhalla, you really start to feel those hours. Moving on to one of my favorite games that's come out in the past, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7 years. Resident Evil 7. Really, really great game. Again, you know, I made my most recent Resident Evil 4 video where I talk about Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I go over my review and I talk about how, you know, I've been in love with the series since its inception. Resident Evil 7 really brings the series back to form. I know you've heard that about 1,000 times, but it really is very horror-centered. Combat is super fun. Enemy design is lacking, but I think where that's lacking, the horror part is like up to like 90. And that makes this game really, really good. I've only played it through like once, maybe twice. So I'm actually due for another playthrough. Maybe I'll do that on Twitch. I've been streaming every Tuesday on Twitch. Follow us over on twitch.com/deadheadpodcast. All one word, all lowercase. Give us a follow over there. And maybe we'll boot this up and we'll play it again. Because I've been looking for a reason to get back into it. I just want to kind of take a break from Resident Evil ever since I finished RE4 3 times. And there's people that played it way more times than I have. But, yeah, super freaky game. Definitely one of those games I don't play with the lights off. But if you do, it's a lot of fun. Especially if you're a horror fan. It really scratches that itch. So, we go from Resident Evil Biohazard, or Resident Evil 7, to Resident Evil Village. And I own this game on PS5 as well. I think you guys saw that in my last PS5 collection. Again, go check out that video. I think you guys will really enjoy if you enjoy videos like this. And yeah, Resident Evil Village, man, it's a first person Resident Evil 4. That's essentially what it is. In a lot of ways, I prefer this over Resident Evil 4, and I know that's again another hot take. Obviously, I like the Resident Evil 4 game better, but as far as like the story, you know, I do like the story in Village a little bit better. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Village has some outstanding story. With great characters and all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not even saying Ethan is all that interesting as a main protagonist. But I loved all the villains in this. I love Lady Dimitrescu. I mean, but I liked all that castle sequence. I liked when you go to that creepy ass house with all the dolls and the big giant baby chasing after you. But the last part of the game was a little wild. But you know, again, in Resident Evil fashion, it felt like it fit. Good game, and I love the enemies in this game. You know, the werewolves thing is one right here on the back. You fight a lot of werewolves, a lot of Lycans in this game. The combat was fun. And yeah, just all around a good game. I mean, really, I don't feel like I say that with like every game I've picked up here, but I just had a lot of fun. You know, it's not my favorite in the series or anything, but it's damn good. I'm excited for Resident Evil 9 whenever we get it. I'm in it for life when it comes to that series, which leads me into Resident Evil 2, baby. Resident Evil 2 is the greatest remake of all time, and I don't care who says it. I don't care who knows it. This game is perfect. It's perfect. This game, I've said all these games are decent games. This is a perfect game. There's literally nothing wrong with this game. I don't care. I'll fight anybody on it, man. I'll take this shit outside. This game is fucking perfect. The combat feels like you're actually doing damage. Enemies take a lot of hits, but you know what, man? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. You can maneuver pretty quickly around. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Leon and Claire, they move like they got a stick up their ass. But you can maneuver pretty well. You can do just enough combat to knock the enemies down, run around them, Mr. X chasing after you. This game is so gosh dang good. The boss fights are good. They're pretty decent. Again, I don't really ever think Resident Evil has good boss battles in general. Actually, to be honest with you, Resident Evil 4 Remake is the first time I actually was like, oh shit, that was actually a fun boss fight. Other than that, game is flawless. I love both sides of the story, playing as Leon, playing as Claire. Good game. Mercenaries mode, but perfect remake, and I really, this game really set the standard for these remakes. Now I say that, and then they released Resident Evil 3 Remake, and that game was obviously rushed, and that's unfortunate, because Resident Evil 3 is a damn good game too. And I still like the remake. That's the thing. Like, I still like it. It was way too short. I think I beat that shit in like 4 hours. And I tried to make it last. As a matter of fact, I think on my first playthrough, I think I pushed it to like 5.5. My second playthrough, I beat that shit in like 2 hours. And I know some people who beat this shit in 30 minutes. So, not a very long game. But this, lots and lots of fun. I definitely recommend it. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about it. It's so gosh dang good. I will be playing that again in the near future. Very, very good game. Next up on the list is Hitman 3. Now, the thing is, I got a love-hate relationship with this series. I feel like I've say that about a few games that I've done on the channel. I got a love-hate relationship because these are good games, but because there's not really much in the way of story, I just fall out of it. I think that the kills, the way you can kill people, is very interesting. It's very intricate with how you can do it. And the game looks beautiful. It runs well. There's a lot of things to like in this game, but I think with it not having a story really, really kills it for me. And that's why like a lot of people don't like Hitman Absolution. I like it because at least there's a little bit of a story for Agent 47 as opposed to this game. In this game, you're just essentially going around. You got targets. You got to go kill them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna act like it's super easy. It's not. It's hard as shit to do it and get away with it. But it's a good game. I enjoy them. I hope they keep making them. I want to support these games. But it would really be nice if Hitman 4 had a little bit more of a story. I think that'd be cool. And I know people probably wouldn't like that. I know I'm in the minority here, but I think it'd be really cool because Agent 47 is an interesting character, and I would like that. I like to see a little bit more with that, you know. All right, next on the list is a game that I think I played for like an hour, and that's called Hired Gun. I think I bought this game for like $10 on GameStop like a year or so ago. Maybe even longer. I don't know. Whenever this game came out. This is essentially like a Doom clone, but only you're not fighting demons. You're fighting like these like mutated looking enemies. Pretty big array of weapons. Combat is satisfying. I put this down because I think something else came out, but you know, got a good blood and gore. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say about it. It's not a bad game at all. It's just one of those games that you know. It's just kind of there, you know. It's Doom, but you're not fighting demons. So that's really all I gotta say about it. I know it's very like short and sweet, but I'm trying to get the video, you know, sort of wrapped up here. And also too, I don't really know much about it, so I don't want to speak on it and say the game is shit because it's not. I don't know. I put it down. I just put it down. You know. Next up on the list is Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This is a good game. It's very grindy. It's you know, an open world, kind of empty, but it is fun to play with friends, and the story is decent, and the gunplay feels nice, and that's really all I got to say about it. But it is a good game. The story is not anything too crazy. You know, they really tried hard to make the story something, especially with bringing John Berthal as the main villain in this game. And it's actually pretty cool that you can kill the main antagonist, which is John Berthal. You can kill him within the first couple missions, and then he's not in the game anymore. And so, like, instead of having John Berthal's character, it's like a whole other character in the game the whole time as opposed to him. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, I think it's like super hard, but you know, you got people who can cheese the shit out of a boss, you know. So, but yeah, you know, good game, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it for what it is. It's a good third-person shooter, and yeah, good first-person shooter. You can ride bikes and helicopters and infiltrate bases, and you know, Ubisoft shit. Next on the list is the Mass Effect trilogy. Now, this is gonna sound bad, but I've actually never played through any of these games all the way through. I hear they're fantastic. I hear the story is good. I hear the characters are great. But I tried to play through the first one, and that shit was just so bad. Even in this updated graphics, right, with, you know, completely 4K, running 60 FPS, the first game has aged poorly, and that's saying the least. Maybe not to some people. I mean, I'm sure if you love the series enough, you can deal with it. I can't. So I think I got like halfway through the first one. I stopped playing, honestly, and the story wasn't really engaging to me. And again, this is a hot take. I'd like to get back into it, though. I really would. I might skip the first one. See, you're talking about games that need to be remade. The first Mass Effect needs to be remade so someone like me who's a fucking noob can play it. Moving on to GTA, the trilogy. Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy. This trilogy has Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. What can I say about these games? If you were born in the 90s like me, I'm sure you've played all three of these. Good games. I actually started up San Andreas, and I put quite a bit of time into it, and then I think something else came out, and I just don't think I finished it. And plus I got stuck on this stupid jetpack mission where I was trying to get on this train, and you're on a jetpack, obviously, and you got to kill these guys on the train. Well, these dudes just have, like, auto aim, and they kill me within, like, 2 seconds. So, haven't booted back up. I know these stories. I know these games are iconic. I would love to see these games get like a actual like remake. I think that'd be super cool. But Rockstar, they fucking suck. Let's be honest. We'll never get that. But I was happy to pick this up, and yeah, it's a good little collection. It has all three original games. Some of the music in the games are missing. I did notice that, which is kind of a bummer. But you know, that's kind of the way things are, right? Like, you know, after a game's been out for a while and has music in it, it's all about licensing. And do they have the licenses to play these music in their games anymore? So, like, I was understanding of that, you know what I mean? Alright, next on the list is a game that everybody loved to hate, and now it's, like, revered, and that is Cyberpunk 2077. I actually bought this on release day. This is actually a release day copy. Let's see, what can I really say? I beat the game, and I enjoyed it. The only thing is I got a really, really bad ending, and I think at the time, because I was... I beat it, like, a year ago, I believe. And when I beat it, I got a bad ending, and I didn't have enough time to go back and play it through again to get a better ending, or like at least replay that mission so I get a better ending. But look, this game gets a lot of hate. It's super fun. I had a lot of time playing this game, and I will get back into it. I bought it for PS5. That's pretty much my preferred way to play right now is on PS5. So I'll boot it back on there. I'll probably play it through. I love Keanu Reeves as Johnny Silverhand. I love the world. The gunplay, especially when you start getting upgrades, super, super fun. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you, man. Look, it's a good experience, and I'm glad I was able to go through it, and I will be playing it again. And I actually have a steelbook copy of the game, and I think I put that in my video, my PS5 video as well. Next game on the list is Far Cry 6, and I bought the gold edition. Yeah, Far Cry 6 Gold Edition. It has a steelbook. It has Anton Castillo on the front, and I believe Diego Castillo on the back. Anton being the main villain of the game. Look, my thoughts on this game as a whole, it's fine. It's Ubisoft. But gunplay is fun. The world is beautiful. Story, very, very lacking in that department, especially when you get someone like Giancarlo Esposito as your main villain. Obviously, you know him as Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, as Moff Gideon in in Mandalorian, and so many other things. I mean, his works go beyond my years. But you have an actor like that, and you just kind of shit the bed with the story, and I just, it's kind of a shame. But a lot of callbacks with Far Cry 3 and an even Voss Easter egg at the end of the game. So I enjoyed it for that. And look, I'm still interested in Far Cry. I probably will still buy Far Cry 7 whenever that comes out. And yeah, I like the Far Cry series. I do think it's time to switch up the formula just a hair to make it different from the last one, because it's kind of getting to the point where you're getting very Call of Duty like, where the games are starting to feel a bit too close. All right, we got 2 more games here. I got one more behind me, but essentially it's just Halo Infinite. I got the Steelbook edition. Don't really have much to say about that game. Listen, it was a good game. I enjoyed the story for the most part, but yeah, that's that's pretty much it. So next game. This is an unopened copy of Dead Space. I had this on PS5 digitally. I had to get it. I wanted to get a physical copy, and when I went to order my PS5 copy, they didn't have any more. So I just went with a Series X. I just wanted a copy of the game. Really enjoyed this remake. I'm coming from somebody who didn't play. I played a little bit of the original Dead Space on 360, but I never really ever finished and never really got that far into it. So this was a really, really good game to play, and again, very horror-centered. Didn't love it. I did like it, though, and I did make a review for it, so I might put that at the top of this video as well. But anyway, it's still a good game. I really enjoyed it, and now I got 2 copies of it, so that's good. So, lastly, we have a game that's super underrated and nobody talks about. I bought the special edition for like $30 from a pawn shop. So I actually just got this like a couple months ago, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the Cosmic Deluxe Edition. Let me see if I can get that a little closer. Yeah, man, beautiful edition. This is at least $100 edition. I got it for $30. I'll show you guys real quick the edition. So as soon as you take the sleeve off, it's kind of what you get. There's the back, and then you open it up, and I'll see if I can show you this to you the best way I can. When you open it up, it has like it has like an art book, pretty cool. But the piece of resistance is obviously the steel book of. You see, it's kind of got like holographic of Guardians. Has the logo on the back, and then it has the art book. And I ain't really gonna go into that in this video. Maybe I'll show it in another video at some point. I don't really want to do that now because we're already damn near 40 minutes long. And by the way, if you're still watching this, thank you. I really appreciate it. What do I have to say about Guardians? Listen, it's underrated as hell. I beat it on PS5. I have not beaten it on Xbox. I do plan to at some point. This is a good game. This is a good game. We need to support this game. Because one, as I'm recording this video, Guardians 3 just came out. Phenomenal movie. I got my review. I'll probably put that at the top of the video as well. Check it out. This game is damn good. Damn good. Combat, it's it's hit and miss, but the story is really, really good. The interaction between the other Guardians, the different planets you get to visit, this is just a really, really good game, and I really think you guys enjoy it. Graphics are so gosh dang good in this game. Definitely check it out if you haven't already, and if you have, let me know down in the comments your thoughts on the Guardians of the Galaxy. And with that being said, that's every game in my Xbox collection. What do you guys think of my collection? What are some of the games in your collection? What am I missing? Let me know down below. I think a lot of people like these types of videos. I can do like at least 2 more videos of my collection. I have Xbox 360. I got a couple PS3, and then I have some Switch games as well. The Switch games will not take me long to do. I tell you that. I think I only got let's see. I'm just looking over to my left. I think I got 8 games over there, and I sold a couple, because I just wasn't playing them. Really, I sold them really cheap too, because Nintendo is fucking ridiculous with their games. They really, especially if it's a property they own. I was going on the GameStop website and it said Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild for Switch that came out at the console's launch was still $60. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That is ridiculous. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, let me know what you guys think about the collection, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a very long one. My voice hurts. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts down below, and more videos will come in the future. And with that being said, see you in the next one. Stay dead, my friends.